You struggling to heal through a situation. Maybe it's loss, maybe it's heartbreak, maybe it's something else in any area of your life. Well, today I'm going to talk about some tips I find useful for working through healing. So I decided to talk about this today because it's something I've been working through recently and through past wounds as well. Now, I want to be really clear. If you're grieving someone, like someone's died who's close to you, or you've gone through a loss of a long-term relationship or a loss of a job, obviously do get the relevant support. And I'm not saying today what I'm going to share is like a one size fits all. It totally is not. This is just me sharing experience on how I've healed through some emotional challenges and many sort of traumas for me. Again, there's no, because someone gave a comment about this previously saying there's no like timeline for healing, and there's not. And I may have given the impression, or now and then I'll say something and maybe it comes across wrong, of course. But yeah, there's no guideline to how long it should take to heal something, right? Again, be in your journey and get what you need. What I'm doing today purely is talking about what I found to work and heal through emotional wounds. It does not mean suppression. It does not mean pushing away. Just be very clear about that. And obviously, if you've got a severe case of something or something really challenging, you're going to need emotional support. Well, actually, that's one of the points. You're going to need support, whichever way anyway. I recently had a challenge come up in my life, and it was like sometimes something will come up in life, and it's not necessarily the thing itself, but it can knock on. Maybe you can relate to this. Knock on previous things that have impacted me, previous losses. Because recently I've just been open about it. It didn't work out with someone, even though it was a very sort of brief, short spell. But it was a massive shock to me because all the green flags were there and it was like going really well. And of course, I had my boundaries, I had my guidelines, and I decided to disconnect with that person with absolute love and appreciation. And we had a good conversation, even though it wasn't a serious thing or anything like that. It was very short term. But yeah, for me, that really impacted me. And I've been doing a lot of work through it. And the way that I've handled that kind of situation is completely different to how I'd handled it even a few years ago. I would have gone out drinking, partying, trying to find someone else, which, I've done that before, and then you just get hurt by that. You just get hurt again, and then you numb your pain. And yeah, for me, working through this kind of like mini event that set off like things like I'd lost past dating or relationships in the past, or even can open up wounds of losing people you love to death, job losses, all these kind of things. Sometimes something that seems so surface level can actually open up a deeper wound that I found personally. And I've been working for a lot. Now, it does not mean I'm being happy 100% today, right? There is still work to do. But for me, like healing can be for different areas of life, but often it goes back into deeper wounds in like childhood and things like that. So I wanted to just share some guidance because maybe you're feeling some anger, some anxiety, some stress, some sadness, and those are all valid emotions. I want to tell you, please don't push them away. Allow yourself to feel them in the healthy ways that you can experience them, because we're not meant to suppress as human beings. We're meant to express, right? And that's something I never used to do. So I want to share some points that have really helped me work through healing. Again, this is just my point of view. This is not a one size fits all. I thought my window was opening then by itself. Anyway, so here's my points. The first one is feel into the body. Feel into the body, into the points where you feel the healing needs to happen. For me, just to be open, when I experience like anxiety or hurt or sadness, I used to just feel those emotions, but I actually came back to a point in my heart and it felt like there was a stab in the heart, and it was really, really wounding. And when I go into it now, it can be a bit challenging. But yeah, there's usually a point in your body that's got like some kind of hurt, and that could come from a certain point in your life. Maybe you were a child and then something really traumatic happened and you felt it in that part of the body and it stayed with you and you're not aware it's there. But when you can start identifying those wounds, I found, it really allows you to feel into them and heal them a bit more. So for me, it was like the loss of my brother at 3 years old, loss of my grandma at 7 years old. Those things really got to that emotional wound in the heart. And when it's not worked out with someone, dating, relationships, all those kind of things, job loss, I always come back to the heart. There's always a feeling in the heart that I've been hurt. And I experienced it recently. And I went into this like fight or flight response, and I had to calm myself down. And it took a lot of working through, but the way I've been handling it has been a lot healthier as a result. The second thing is get support. Get yourself some support. Obviously, if we're talking about severe things like PTSD, of course, you need professional support. You'll always get what you need, what you see, right? If you're really mentally struggling, do talk to a professional. But just in general, with things like job losses, heartbreaks, all those kind of things, then get support. Get a circle of friends, maybe join an online one, talk to people. And also, I say this, be really clear, because this is what I've experienced recently as well. Make sure you're comfortable with the people you're talking to. Sometimes you can share with someone, and if you feel, maybe you can relate, you feel absolutely shit after speaking to certain people. I made this mistake recently. I was going to call it out. I spoke to a friend, very good heart, but I spoke to this friend, I won't say what gender, and I had extreme anxiety after speaking to this friend. Meant well, but had their own stuff going on. And therefore it made me feel a lot worse. So if you feel bad by talking to someone, don't talk to that person. Say it with love, right? There are lots of people who can hold the space for you. So that's what I'd say, support. The third thing is remove external triggers as much as possible. Now, it's not always going to be possible, right? So say if it's not worked out with someone, the breakup or heartbreak or whatever, there could be a chance that a song's played that reminds you of them. Yeah, that might happen. But there are certain songs I've had before when I've been listening to when I was with a person, and therefore I wouldn't listen to that song for a while after it didn't work out. But I come back to it later and I was all right. Now there's certain visuals or memories or places that of course going to come up. But if you can remove external triggers as much as possible, that's helpful. One of the things I do, and I haven't always got it right in the past, I must admit, is just blocking or removing on social media from that person. In the past I haven't got this right. In my 20s I wouldn't necessarily look too much, but now and then I just if I was still friends with her, I'd might look. And then that kind of set me off when I saw she was in a relationship with someone. Whilst if you block them and don't talk to them, do it out of love, not in a vicious way, but for your own boundaries and self-love, just remove things like social media of that person, because you don't really want to know if they're dating someone else. You don't really want to know they're happy, how happy they are in their life. And that's a pattern I find can really ruin healing. Okay, so that's something else I'd mention as well. And then the fourth point is inner child work. This is critical. And when I've neglected it, it's made a massive difference in my life negatively. And when I've done it, massive difference positively. Your inner child is for me, the inner child is the most important person and relationship you should have on the planet. Your inner child. It's if you neglect a child, it's if you got your own child. I don't have any children, but if you got your own child, it's like neglecting them. It's even one day, right? If you ignored your child for a day, how bad would they feel? Unfortunately, that does happen. But most healthy parents won't do that. Again, no judgment. But yeah, if you've got to be like that for yourself, for your own inner child. And when you can start feeling into these wounds, going back to the first point, and what the inner child needs, and telling him or her or them what that they are loved and everything like that, it's a game changer, and healing really speeds up. So those are my points on how to work. My points of working through healing. Again, it's just my stuff that's worked. Again, I'm not saying a timeline, I'm not saying what's right, what's wrong, I'm just sharing what worked for me. So going through those again, feel into the body, feel into the emotional wounds, don't just go into the mind. The second one is get that support, whether it's men's groups, women's groups, people groups, whether it's a professional you need to speak to, or maybe a mixture. Third thing, remove external triggers, try and reduce social media. It doesn't even have to be a relationship or dating, but if there's something that sets you off, in like maybe from a job loss or grievance or something like that, remove that as well from your life. And then songs that are not going to make you feel good, remove those. And then number 4, work on that inner child work every single day. So that's what I've got for you today. I appreciate you for being here, and remember to lead with your heart and not with fear.